Hey guys, we're going to be doing our lower body equipment orientation. So I'm going to go through our lower body exercise pieces of equipment that we have here and showing you how to get set up on it, what's a great starting point, and then also just a couple of breathing techniques. So let's get started. So we're on the leg extension. This is really focusing on isolating your quads on the front side of your legs. You want to scoop your feet underneath the bottom portion pad. There is a lever here that can extend the leg out. This means a smaller range of motion that you'll be moving from. So you can play around with that on your flexibility and exactly what range of motion or part of the lift you're looking for. There's also half lifts you could do by lifting this up, more full range of motion by taking it down. So first things first, always make sure you have a light weight, okay? So it's better to start off lower than higher. So we're gonna start, also a great starting rep count would be anywhere from 8 to 10 reps. You can go to 12 if you like as well, but that's just a good starting point for your rep counts. So with the back, there's also a knob here. You're going to look for your knobs that have little yellow markings on our matrix equipment. So with this one, you pull it out and that will adjust the seat. So knowing that my knees are hitting the edge of the pad here, I'm going to make sure that this back is supported. So here it's too far back. You want to make sure you're seated correctly, sitting up tall, and then make sure that clicks in, the lower back is supported. So with this one, there's two grip sides on the edges of the seat. You're going to lift up and lower. Exhale up, inhale down. Up and down. There's two other variations you can do with this lift. You can bring your toes in, working more of the outside of the quads, and then toes out, working the more inside part of the quads. Okay, so those are some variations. When it comes to the lift of any of these machines, you want to lift up and then lower down right above your weight stack. You don't want to drop or be bouncing off of the stack. Okay, so nice, slow, and controlled reps. So that's leg extension. All right, we are on the leg curl. So this is focusing on the back side of our legs. You will have your feet up to the top here, and then you're going to bring this pad down. But before you get started, we want to make sure that this pad is hitting the back of our legs. So we don't want to be right on the heel. We want to be right above. We don't want to also be right directly on that joint. Okay, so little cushion on the back side, looking at this point of your leg. Okay, again, make sure that you have a light enough stack. If you already have a good idea of what your starting weight is, go ahead and establish that, because once you get locked in, you can't move that pin for your weight. Okay, so other options here for your adjustments is that back lever. So you've got a yellow piece here. Remember, your yellow knobs are usually where you can make adjustments. And if you have any tension on those things, those places, you may not be able to move the knob. So again, I had to kind of pull forward and then I could adjust that knob to support my lower back. So with this one, you want to make sure that when you bring the top piece down, you want to be right above the knees. You don't want to ever bring this top pad right on top of the knees. We want to protect those joints. So again, you use this pad for leverage as you pull back and squeeze your hamstring. With this one, you exhale back, inhale up, and up. You want to get that little squeeze and a nice little hold at the back and then up. So make sure you're nice and controlled with your movement, making sure you're not hitting the stacked weights on top of each other and bringing it back and forward. Another thing is making sure that you're not using momentum. Okay, so that's not what you want to do. Again, nice and controlled with a little extra squeeze. This is a really great exercise for isolating your hamstrings, but it can be one of the most difficult machines to get adjusted and get ready to start on. That's hamstring curl. All right, we're on the leg press. And this one is a great machine for if you're low on time and you really want to hit all of lower body. It is going to work your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, your glutes, all of those things are engaged in this movement. So you've got a plate here, so you want to make sure that your feet are up. This one's pretty easy to get set up on, but just note that my starting point is where I'm set with my chair. So we've got an adjustment here. We can bring it down a little bit. All right. Again, making sure that you have a good starting point for your weight. All right. Feet are up, and sometimes you can feel a little smushed on this one, but remember, if you do, you're going to get more range of motion. All right. So we're coming down, making sure our knees are not going over our toes as we come down at the bottom of the movement, and then squeezing up. As we squeeze up, make sure you don't lock your knees. So soft bend in the knees always. So your exhale here, exhale up, and then sit it down. And down. Okay, so again, if I were to set up this machine a little higher, I would only going half range of that full range of motion that I'm looking for. So you usually want to get the full range of motion. So that's leg press. All right, we're on the inner and outer thigh or abduction adduction machine. This machine has two movements. So I'm going to show you this first one. We have the pads on the outside, so we're going to be taking our legs out. This is abduction, away from each other. Okay, so with this one, there's not much movement or adjustment. There is a yellow knob on the side. This is a little different because this is a hoist machine, so it's not matrix like some of our others. And with this one, you just want to bring it in as close as possible. Hear that click, that means that you're in. You've got your handles on the side. Back is on the mat or on your bench, supported by the chair. You're going to open and then close. Exhale, inhale in. As you exhale, drive your navel into your spine. All right, with this one, people also do a lot of pulses and then also holds. So that's some ways that you can get some variation in your reps. So for the other one, that's working your outer thighs. For the other one, we spin these pads around. So I just give a little leverage to where this little swivel can turn. Pads are now on the inside. This is your adduction. Think of adding in. So we're working inner thighs. And this one really kind of goes to your flexibility. Some people may have less flexibility. It's all up to you. Also, if you're looking at little pulses or little ranges of motion, you can bring it in closer as well. Just know that you usually can do less weight on the abduction side than adduction. Some people are different, but that's the general consensus. So this one, exhale in, inhale out. You think about exhaling at the hardest part of the move. So here it's bringing those knees in and then out. Again, your distance is going to be purely based on your flexibility for this one. Okay, so that's abduction and adduction.